America's Frontline Doctors, which is actually not a doctors group at all. It's actually a COVID denialist group, just filled with deniers and anti-vax nuts, is actually falling apart in spectacular fashion. It's the best. In fact, the Daily Beast is now reporting of infighting between different factions of employees within the group looking to take over and most importantly, get control of the monies, the donations. So, look, how did they get to this point? Well, there's a lot of issues, right? But essentially, grifter's going to grift, right? Now, Will Sommer of the Daily Beast explains that for months, America's Frontline Doctors has been split between its board and founder, Simone Gold. So the board, of course, they're fighting over control of the group. Simone Gold, of course, is the founder. She's also a Capitol rioter. And now the board, of course, is suing her for control over some spending. So now, on November 5th, the board actually sued Gold to try to force her to stop representing the organization. Gold, for her part, has been threatening board members by insane emails and describing herself as a popular folk hero, rainmaker, and an avenging lioness. She is the lioness. And all while this is going on, the group's regular employees are struggling to even do their jobs. They can't even fulfill the organization's basic functions because, again, everybody's vying for control, locking each other out of Zoom meetings and emails. It's fantastic. Now, this group, remember, they were founded in order to facilitate purchases of fake COVID cures. You get the ivermectins and the hydroxychloroquines, right? They're setting them up with prescriptions with doctors, apparently, who have either no morals or just people who raid the supply stores. But they can't even do that anymore. In fact, Amanda Kaiser Johnston, an America's Frontline Doctors employee, said, quote, "None of us really know what's going on, and pretty much we've all lost the ability to do our jobs." Awesome. I say that's great. Now, she said she was locked out of her email account amid the feud and has been accused by her coworkers of being a quote-unquote spy for a rival faction. We've got spycraft going on here. Hilarious. And again, as I mentioned, the reason they're fighting is because of the money. So now what happened, as I mentioned, Simone Gold, Capitol rioter, she was there. She ended up serving about 60 days in jail as a result of this. But while she was gone, the America's Frontline Doctors board had launched an internal audit of her personal spending. They found out that Simone Gold was living quite large. In fact, according to the lawsuit, Gold had benefited substantially from her position as a self-proclaimed doctor warrior. So how much spending are we talking about? Well, they break down the numbers. In November of 2021, they claimed that she used the funding to purchase a $3.6 million, 3,300 square foot mansion in Naples, Florida, complete with a swimming pool for her and her 20-something years younger boyfriend. Other expenses include the purchase of 3 vehicles in Florida and roughly $50,000 a month on personal expenses, including $5,600 on house cleaning. 50. Imagine. I could not imagine burning through $50,000 in a month. Insane. All right, so now the board also alleges that her boyfriend, who is, again, the aforementioned 20 years her junior underwear model named John Strand, who is awaiting sentence in his Capitol rioting case, because he was also there, spent roughly $15,000 a month on his own expenses. Now, the board is claiming that Gold didn't have permission to make the purchase. However, apparently a supporter of Gold has some receipts saying, oh, no, no, no. We have meeting minutes that purport to show a recommendation to buy a Florida house, not as a headquarters, as the board is claiming, but as an investment. Ah, yes, because it's an investment opportunity to buy yourself a $3.6 million mansion. Hey, the real estate market's pretty hot. And so, hey, Simone Gold, go ahead and buy yourself a house. Fun. Now, the minutes don't list a specific house in Naples or at a specific price, to be fair. So, are her receipts really receipts? Or is it just like, hey, they said I could buy something? I don't know. But on corporate papers, the company that owns the Naples home lists its address as board member, and Gold's replacement on the board when she'd resigned, Joey Gilbert, who was a former boxer who had gotten himself in trouble for, taking steroids. So just to show you, like, the quality of character we're dealing with here is not very high. Now, Gold's supporters claim this is proof that Gilbert and other board members knew about the mansion and were totally fine with it. Right. Okay. There's more. The board also cited Gold's use of private jets, claiming that she spent as much as $100,000. Remember, this is all donation money, by the way. This is all either donation or people that are like, here, I'm going to pay you to get me some ivermectin. Amazing, right? Why would you pay anybody for that? It doesn't work on COVID. Why would you pay for that? It doesn't matter. Dumb people are going to dumb. All right, so now this $100,000 was on one trip without authorization, and an ally of Gold's provided the Daily Beast with a picture of Gilbert on a private jet with Strand in an attempt to show that Gilbert knew about the expenses. Again, we don't know. America's Frontline Doctors also alleges that Gold has diverted nonprofit resources for her own private little business venture. In addition to America's Frontline Doctors, Gold has launched a medical private membership association, fun, a concept popular with some on the right, based on the theory that it can be used to skirt laws governing medical or insurance practice. Dubbed Gold Care, members of Gold's new company rely on a complex token system to purchase their medical care. So this is basically like, hey, I'm going to use Bitcoin to go to the doctor. What's next? NFTs? Yeah, I'm going to give you one board ape for a what is it? A bypass surgery. That's what we're going to do. One board ape for a heart surgery. What if you juice the ape? What can that get you? I'm just wondering. Look, there are questions. There are lots of questions here. God. All right. Now, one reviewer, by the way, who inspected the company's plans, said that, quote, I believe that Gold Care would be a poor investment. No kidding. Now, America's Frontline Doctors, or AFLDS, claims that Gold have been using the organization's Naples mansion to house Gold Care employees and diverting employees paid by America's Frontline Doctors to work on said side project. Gold has also accused Gilbert, however, of committing his own financial issues, but has declined to offer any examples. In October, Gold began to demand that Gilbert and other remaining board members, former Sheriff Richard Mack and Pastor Jurgen Matthias, to resign. In a furious October 12th email to the three men, she threatened to unleash her fans unless they stopped murdering America's Frontline Doctors, or maybe murdering her paycheck is more apt. Just as the mother lioness will not allow her baby lion to be murdered, neither will I. Gold wrote, according to an exhibit filed with the lawsuit. The board members refused, and the fight over the group escalated. In an October 15th email, the group's accountant discussed who could access the group's bank accounts, writing that they contained at least $7.3 million. And in November, the fight got worse as Gold and her supporters began harassing employees to hand over the organization's online accounts. In one November email, an employee described how Gold had seized control of their Microsoft email accounts. Wait a minute. Microsoft, created by Bill Gates, and you're using Microsoft email accounts? I know Bill Gates doesn't own it anymore, but seriously, if you are a good anti-vaxxer moron, why are you touching anything created by Bill Gates? Why are you even using a PC or Mac? Come on. Doing. All right, anyway. You shouldn't be using a computer at all. It's obviously you don't believe in science. But there's more, right? Now, after that happened, of course, low-level employees were stunned that leaders like Gold had been paid with what one staffer had called in an affidavit, quote-unquote, absurd amounts of money, showing that most likely these low-level staffers were not getting that much money at all. Another employee wrote in an affidavit that Gold had been pressuring her to hand over the password to the group's 175,000 follower Telegram account, urging her to be on the side of quote-unquote righteousness. For now, it appears that Gold has the website, which has a press release on it accusing Gilbert of embezzlement. So this is fantastic. Let them fight. Let them fight. The same employee alleged that right-wing activist Michael Cordry, who has worked in the past with Stop the Steal figure Ali Alexander, had aligned himself with Gold and was, quote, harassing me daily for internal information that would help Gold. Cordry declined to comment. As for the effect that this has had on the organization itself, well, I already told you, they can't do their normal job functions. Getting back to Amanda Kaiser Johnston, one of the employees, she described the last week as quote-unquote complete insanity, saying that the group had become completely dysfunctional. Their part in this bigger fight is probably done. Look, good riddance. Good riddance. It's fun to see grifters fight and destroy each other, and destroy, more importantly, a group that is probably quite responsible for a lot of right-wingers dying from COVID by taking fake cures that don't work. Hey, but you know what? Sure, they may have killed a lot of MAGA chuds, but at least they made some money along the way that they are now fighting over. As usual, it always comes down to the money.